So today I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about the importance of mixing up your practice, so doing lots of different things when you're playing practice sessions. So I see people on videos, maybe I see posts when I'm reading online about the type of practice that people are doing, and if you only ever do one certain type of practice, obviously you'll get really good at doing that particular discipline. So I'll sometimes see that people practice a lot of long straight blue shots, for example, so we see that regularly. Now, if that was the only thing that you kind of get obsessed with in your mind about, I must be able to cue straight and I'm potting that long blue, you'll get very good at that particular type of shot, but not necessarily lots of other aspects that you also need to be good at. So we'll here on this channel talk about obviously rest play. I'll try and talk about the importance of break building and shot selection, and that's incredibly important because, again, let's say for example a player is playing lots of lineups, and we've all seen that where there's a line of reds that just go all the way up the centre of the table. Now, when you're doing that exercise, shot selection doesn't really come into it, because when you pot the black, for example, and come off the black cushion and up the table, you've got 7 or 8 different reds that you can play on, so you're just putting the white into such a big area. It's just not the same as those little cannons and little nudges that we need to be doing when we're doing proper break building. So the importance of mixing up different things into your practice sessions is incredibly important. If you're somebody that never practices with the rest, for example, let's say you do a lot of practice spreading the balls out and potting, but you don't really use the rest, when you come to need that rest in a match, maybe you're playing in a tournament, you're not going to have much confidence because you haven't been incorporating any rest play into your game at all. Now let's think about this for a second. So obviously straight cueing, incredibly important. We've all got to be able to consistently deliver that cue in a straight line, and that's why we're talking on this channel about technique and the importance of getting the grip and the stance and everything right. Very important to be able to cue straight, but some shots are not the same as other ones. So let's take the long blue shot, for example. When you're playing that shot, I call that a bit like a switch. It's a bit of an on or off shot. I'm hitting that pot and I'm just trying to pot the ball, not really too concerned with what the white is doing. So lots of players might play that shot as a stun shot, not worrying too much what's happening with the white. And it's a bit like I say, flicking a switch on or off. You're just hitting the shot, it's on, and you're playing the shot. Now, a shot that's very different, for example, let's say that you're break building in the balls. I've finished a little bit high on the black, and I want to pop the black, drift the white off the black cushion and drift up for 2 reds into the same pocket. Now, although we have to cue straight on that shot, and the straight cueing is just as important, it's very, very different in terms of the nature of the styles of those 2 shots. So with the blue, I'm just delivering my arm in a nice punchy motion, going through to my chest. It's a nice positive delivery. With the shot on the black, I've still got to deliver straight, and I've got to make sure that my cue goes in that nice straight line, but there's much more feel and timing involved on that shot. If I mistime it, I could overcut the black because I'm playing this shot with a little bit of left-hand side, so if I don't hit it hard enough, the white could swerve off too much. If I hit it too hard, I could actually make the white swerve into the black too much, and then I'd hit the shot too thick. So there's a lot more to think about than just these odd things that people pick out and get a little bit obsessed with one particular discipline of just practicing cueing straight all day. But when it comes to those real frames and we've got to play these little touch shots with finesse and we're trying to pop the black and play a cannon on a particular ball, that's when snooker becomes much more precise, and you've got to make sure that you're practicing these disciplines. So now if you're somebody that's thinking, okay, well, I've got my cue action quite straight, I'm doing quite good on my long blue shots, maybe you're doing some pots to the middle and you're thinking, okay, I'm cueing straight, you know, why aren't my breaks improving in real games? Then you need to be asking yourself, are you practicing that break building and those patterns of break building, and try and hold yourself to some higher standards. So set 4 or 5 reds up around the pink and black spot and just practice from some random positions doing those breaks. Maybe if you can as well, I always advise people to film themselves. Very beneficial, because then you can have a look back on the video and think, actually, maybe if I'd have played this shot in a slightly different way and come into this area, I'd have had more success than the shot I tried to play, which resulted in the end of break. So fantastic to film yourself, try and analyse where things have gone wrong. So here's a fantastic example for break building and shot selection and why it's so important. So this is quite a standard shot on the black here. I've finished straight, I can only bring the white forwards or backwards, so obviously I've got to try and get onto this red, so I want to bring the white backwards. Now lots of people would play for this red into the middle, and when they don't get on that red into the middle, they feel disappointed. But actually, if we were to look at that shot, there's a much more reliable way of getting on the red. So if I pop the black and I screw back and try and get the white positioned so that I can pop that red to the middle, you can see I've got a very small window for landing the white into a good position, so that not only can I pop the red, but then get position on my colour again. Now if I was to pop that black screw on and off the cushion and bring the white back out into the centre of the table, look at all the space I've now got for the white to land good. I can pretty much leave it anywhere in that big area that you can see there, and I'm still going to have a shot on that red. Now those are the kind of things that you're learning when you practice your break building. You suddenly start to realise that actually, hang on, there's a more reliable and better way of playing onto that red. So instead of not knowing why it went wrong, you start to analyse playing in these certain areas, not trying to be so precise with the white, and then you leave yourself much more margin for error. So hopefully this video was useful. Really wanted to emphasise there the importance of not getting fixated on practicing one particular part of the game and not all the other areas that we need to think about that's involved in us becoming a good snooker player. It's also very common to want to practice the things that we're already good at, because that gives our reward centre in our brain that immediate gratification there. So you feel like, well, I'm already good at these long blues, so I'll practice some more long blues, watch them go in, and that's satisfying. If you're struggling a little bit more with the break building side, it's harder to make yourself practice it, because you can miss a few shots and you become a little bit disappointed. But the more you can just incorporate that into your practice sessions, if you set yourself a time limit of, right, I'm going to, for 20 minutes once I'm back on the table, I'm going to allocate that to doing my break building with some red spread around the black spot, then over time you're just going to become better at that discipline. So try and force yourself to analyse where your slightly weaker areas are in your game, and then you can focus on those. Give yourself an allocated time slot in your practice sessions, and that's what's going to really help you to improve in those areas then as well. As always everybody, if you did enjoy this video, please remember to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That just really helps me to keep this content coming. For anyone that's interested in any personal one-to-one coaching sessions, you can visit my website at www.bartonsnooker.co.uk. And as always, thanks for watching everybody, take care, stay safe, catch you in the next one.